Cheap bread gets a bad reputation, but some of Tesco's cheapest loaves are genuinely worth buying. We ranked 5 wholemeal options from worst value to best, and the most expensive looking one didn't even come close. Starting at number 5. In 5th place, Tesco Finest Wholemeal Seeds and Grains Loaf. Stands out on the shelf with its matte black packaging and a crust packed with sunflower, linseed, and pumpkin seeds. At first glance, it looks like the healthiest choice in the bakery aisle, but the numbers tell a different story. For £1.20, you only get a 400-gram loaf, which works out to 30 pence per 100 grams, and that is twice as much as Tesco's bigger wholemeal options. The fiber content is good, 5.5 grams per 100 grams, and the seeds add some extra nutrients, but you are paying a premium for the artisan look and feel. This loaf sits in the specialty section and promises more than it delivers for everyday value. Verdict: looks healthy, but you are better off with a cheaper wholemeal if you want real value. Number 4 is Warburton's Wholemeal Medium Sliced Bread. The classic blue and white pack that is a fixture in most United Kingdom kitchens. This is the branded pick on the list, and you can see why so many families trust it. The loaf delivers a soft yet sturdy crumb that holds up for sandwiches, toast, and even packed lunches without falling apart. At 800 grams for £1.35, you are paying about 17 pence per 100 grams, noticeably more than Tesco's own label wholemeal loaves. That extra cost gets you a familiar taste and consistent texture, but not always a healthier profile. The salt content sits at around 0.61 grams per 100 grams, which is just above the recommended limit, though Warburton's has a temporary exemption for now. For shoppers who want a national brand and reliable quality, this loaf fits the bill, but it is not the cheapest or the lowest in salt. Verdict: a safe branded choice, but you are paying extra for the name. Number 3 is Tesco High Fiber Wholemeal Loaf, the bold orange pack that is hard to miss on the shelf. This is the health-focused option in the lineup, packing more fiber than any other Tesco bread at this price point. 8.2 grams per 100 grams. That is nearly double what you get from most standard wholemeal loaves, and it is the main reason this bread stands out. The dense crumb and slightly gritty texture come from a blend of wholemeal flour, oat bran, and wheat bran, making each slice feel more filling and better for gut health. The loaf is smaller at 400 grams, and it costs £1.20, so you are paying 30 pence per 100 grams, about 3 times the price per gram compared to Tesco's basic wholemeal. But for people who need a serious fiber boost, especially anyone watching their cholesterol or aiming for better digestion, the extra cost can be worth it. The British Heart Foundation tick on the label adds extra reassurance. Verdict: if fiber is your top priority, this is the loaf to grab, even if you get less bread for your money. Number 2 is H.W. Neville's medium sliced wholemeal bread, the absolute cheapest decent wholemeal loaf you will find at Tesco in 2026. At just 55 pence for a full 800 gram pack. It works out to less than 7 pence per 100 grams, making it almost half the price of the average supermarket wholemeal. The ingredient list is as simple as it gets. Wholemeal wheat flour comes first, with just a touch of ascorbic acid and malted barley to keep the crumb sturdy and the flavour mild. There are no preservatives, no added sugars, and nothing unnecessary. The bread itself is dense and holds up well for toast or sandwiches, especially when you want something filling that will not fall apart. Some shoppers mention the slices can tear if you cut them too thin, but for everyday use, it is hard to beat this kind of value. Verdict: if you want the cheapest wholemeal that is still genuinely healthy, This is the one to grab. And finally, in first place is Tesco wholemeal medium slice bread, the loaf that hits the sweet spot for most families. At 800 grams for just 75 pence, it costs under 10 pence per 100 grams, putting it well below the average for supermarket wholemeal. The first ingredient is wholemeal flour, so you know you are getting the real deal, not just a brown loaf with a fancy label. The packaging is easy to spot, with a green leaf design and a 4 grams of fibre per slice badge on the front. It is soft enough for toast, sandwiches, and packed lunches, yet sturdy enough to avoid turning to mush under a bit of butter or jam. The slices hold up for everyday use, and the taste is mild enough that even picky eaters will not complain. Because it is Tesco's own brand, you will almost always find it stocked at eye level, and it is one of the most popular choices in the bread aisle. The price stays low thanks to Tesco's large-scale contracts and efficient delivery, and the shelf life is extended with a small amount of preservative. Nothing out of the ordinary for a supermarket loaf. Verdict: this is the bread to buy if you want a healthy, reliable, and affordable everyday option that will not let you down. Across all 5 loaves, one truth stands out. Healthy doesn't have to mean expensive. In Tesco's bread aisle, picking a simple wholemeal option is still your smartest everyday choice.